Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're gonna see how to implement a slow time in our game so everything can slow down so we have more time to think about our action. So the first thing we have to do here is going to the project setting, and in the project setting we're gonna set up the key that we need to press to activate the slow time. So we're gonna go to input here and we're going to create a new action mapping. We're going to we're going to click on the action mapping and we're going to call this, let me check here. So we're going to call that slow time power. And I want the slow time power. So I want the slow time power key to be a F. So I'm going to click on the keyboard here. I can click F on my keyboard and it's going right in it. So we're all good with that. So now we can call the logic to our power. So to be able to slow the time, right? So we're gonna go here and in this, we're gonna do, not gonna do, but we're gonna call our power, our slow time power that we just created in the project setting. So when we press, we want to activate that power, right? So we're gonna drag from press and gonna search for flip-flop. The flip-flop, it's every time we press go to A, and when we press again, let's go to B, and when we press again, go to A, and so on. So we're gonna use that because it's really convenient. We're gonna do a branch here by holding B on your keyboard from the return value A, and we need another boolean. So we're gonna create another boolean. So we're gonna up here on variable, and we're gonna call this show drain power interrogation. I'm gonna make it sure that it's under boolean, and we're gonna put it from true, and we're gonna make sure that we tick this so it's true. And from this, now we want to slow down the time. So how we do this? Well, it's really convenient because Unreal do have that for us. So we drag and do set global time dilation. So we're gonna take this, and I want the time to be, you know, 4 times slower. So I'm just gonna put 0.25 in it. And from here, we want to drain our power. So unless you want your game to be able to be in in slow time forever, but I want to slow down the time according to a certain amount of point we have. So I'm gonna go here and we're gonna have to create another custom event, and that custom event will be drain slow time. Now, if we go back up here, we should be able to call this drain slow time. So now what it's doing for us, well, when we press it go to A, it's going to do a branch that we're going to finish in a few minutes, and it's going to activate the power, and it's going to not activate, but activate that boolean that's going to make it to true. It's going to make the time 4 times slower, and it's going to drain our power. So we're going to have 100 points, and it's going to drain those points. So if we have no more points, we have to stop draining, right? So from B here, we're gonna drag and I'm gonna put greater or equal, and it's gonna be the value right here. And from that, we're gonna drag from B and we want this. So we can just copy and paste that. We can make sure it's unchecked and we're gonna plug it right there. So we need, our current slow time energy. So we need to create a variable to handle this. So I'm going to create another variable. I'm going to call that current slow time power or energy. I'm going to call that power. I'm going to make sure it's float. and I'm gonna drag it right here. I'm gonna do a get, right? And actually here it's not what I need, so well, actually maybe we can use it just by dragging on the top here. There we go. So, and I'm gonna put 5 here. So I'm gonna explain in a minute what it's doing for us. From false, it's gonna go there. Here we go. And we're gonna take our set global time dilation, and we're gonna put that back to normal speed, which is 1. And when we go back to normal, well, we want our power to go back up again, right? So we need another custom event here. So we're gonna search custom event, and we're gonna call this regen slow time power. Now we should be able to call it here. So regen slow time power. Put it right here. Okay, so what this beautiful code do for us? Well, when we press F on our keyboard, it's gonna go to A first. It's gonna go to that branch, and they're gonna make sure that we have more than 5 point on our current slow time power, which actually I have to put a number here, and I'm gonna put the number to be 100. So if we do have more than 5 point in this variable, it's gonna go to true. It's gonna start that boolean, so it's gonna put show drain power to true. It's gonna set the time to 0.25, which is a quarter of the normal speed, and it's gonna drain our power, right? Which is gonna be like 100, and it's gonna go down. And when we press again, it's gonna deactivate this, right? It's gonna deactivate that. I mean that slow time, and it's gonna make the time back to normal, and we're gonna start gaining our power again. So we're gonna go here, and I'm just gonna call that power because I forget to put it on. Okay, so now from that, I just want to drain my power, right? When I'm using it, because I don't want to be able to do that forever. So we're gonna start with a branch. We're gonna connect the branch to drain slow time power. And we're gonna take our boolean that we did, so show drain, and plug it right there. So if it's true that this boolean is activated, we're going to be able to take our current slow time power and put it here to true. So we're going to set this, and we want to remove power, I mean our number, right? So from the 100 that we have, so we're going to drag from that, we're going to do a clamp because I don't want that to go below 0 or above 100. And our max slow time energy or max slow time power, we need to create that variable. So we can just click on our current slow time power and just duplicate this. And I'm gonna call that max. I'm gonna change the current here for max. And I'm gonna take max and put it right here. So our max obviously is the maximum that we want. So it's gonna be 100. And it's going to take our current slow time energy, which is this one here. So we're going to drag it there, and we're going to do a subtraction of X amount of energy we want to drag every second, right? So I want 5 because I don't want the player to be able to do that for too long. So from this here, we're going to search for equal, and it's going to be equal to 0. I'm going to do a branch by holding B. I'm going to plug all that together. And if it's true, we're going to show drain, put it to false. So make sure it's unchecked. we're gonna set our global time dilation back to normal, which is 1. And we're gonna call the function regain slow time power. And if it's false, we're gonna do a delay. 0.2 seconds is good enough, or you can even do 0.1. And we're gonna continue to drain our slow time power, which is this here. So what all of that do for us? Well, if we start from the top here, so when we press, let's go to that branch, check that we have enough energy. If we do, it's going to set that variable to true, make the time go a quarter, 3/4 slower, and we're going to start draining slow time power, which is this here. We're going to go here, it's going to confirm that we have enough energy to drain. If it's true, we go there and it set our current power according to our current power minus the amount that we want to remove each time we use this power. It's not going to go below or above a certain number, which is 0 and 100 in this case. It's going to set that new value here. So if we're at 100, it's going to go at 95 and so on. And if we equal 0, so our current slow time power is equal to 0, so we have no more power, it's going to go to this branch. And if it's true that it's equal to 0, it's going to go to show drain, deactivate that boolean, set back the time to 1, and we're going to start regaining our power. If it's false that we still do have power, that we are above 0, for example, we're at 50%, it's going to go to false, and it's going to wait 0.1 of a second, and it's going to continue calling this function to continue the cycle until we have no more power. Right, so we're going to take this here, the first one, we're going to do a comment, and the comment that we're going to put here, it's going to be, I'm going to put 1, and I'm going to slow time power, right? And 2, so this one here, I'm going to do it, I'm going to call 2, and slow, sorry, not slow, but drain slow time power, right? Because it starts with this one, number 2 is going to be this one, is going to go to this one, and after that, number 3 is going to be regain our power. So we're going to do that now. So from that, we're going to do a branch once again. Going to connect the branch to it. We're going to check that we should drain our power. So we're going to do a get. Make sure it's plugged to the branch here. And from false, we're going to do another branch and plug it right there. And we're going to go from that condition equal, and equal to what? Current, not our current time, sorry, our current slow time power and our max slow time power. So this we're going to drag from false, and we're going to set our current slow time power. Right here, we're going to do a clamp because we don't want our value to go above or below a certain number. We're going to take the float here, and we're going to add power now. We're going to take our current energy, which is this one here, current slow time power, put it there. Actually, we're going to do a plus first, and we're going to plug it there. So we're going to put 1. So every second is going to go fill up our power back by 1 number. And we don't want to go above our max power, which is this one, which is 100. Right? So we're going to do a delay. Can do a delay of, I want a delay of 0.3. You can put 0.2, 0.1. It's just going to be your speed. And we're going to call again that regain slow time power. Right? So what this does for us, well, when we call regen slow time power, it's going to go to the branch. It's going to make sure that we show drain yes or no. So if the show drain is deactivated, so false, it's go to this, go to that branch. That branch will verify that our current slow time power it's equal to our max slow time power, which is 0. If it is, if it's not, sorry, I mean, it's going to compare that those two are equal. If it's not true, it's mean false. It's going to set our current slow time power by adding 1 to it. Make sure it's not going above 100, which is the number that we set up. It's going to wait 0.3 seconds, and it's going to call that same function again so we can continue gaining energy until we are reaching 100. So we're going to take this, I'm going to do a comment on that, and I'm just going to call that, it's going to be 3. I'm going to call that regain slow time power. I'm going to compile this, and now we shall be able to test it out. So go here, we're going to do play, and now if I press F, you'll see that everything is going to start slowing down. Ooh, you see everything is slowed down, and at some point it's going to go back to normal because we're not going to have more energy to it. So here we go, let's go back to normal, press again, let's go slow time and go back to normal, right? So you can see it's working. So we need to put something on the display to see our energy, right? It's important. So we're going to do that now because we're right in it. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to our, let me think about it for a second, our widget. And we're going to take the, our widget blueprint that we did earlier. So this one here, the player HUD. And we need to put another progress bar right here for our power. You can put a progress bar or you can put a text, right? Let's put a text just to make it different. So let's search for text here. There you go. So it should be right here. Perfect. And I'm going to make sure that we anchor that to the bottom left corner. And our text here, you know, we're going to create a binding for it, right? So we're going to create a binding for that. And we're going to call that get slow time power. We're going to move the return node here. And we need a reference to our character that we did in a couple of episodes back. So we have our reference right here. So we can just take that and do a get. From that, we want to access our current slow time power. So we want to do a get. And we also want our max slow time power, and we're going to do a get as well. From this, we're going to do a format text. So drag from the return node here, going to do a format text. Right, in the format text, we're going to do our bracket. So I have to change my keyboard. So we're going to do those bracket here, and I'm going to call that current slow time, and we're going to do a slash, open those brackets once again, call that max slow time, and close those brackets. So now it's gonna, by writing this the same way, you should have current slow time and max slow time, right? I'm gonna add power just to make it more the same as those one here. And I'm gonna plug the current slow time power here and the max slow time power here. And I'm gonna compile that. Now we should have a text right here when I'm gonna do play. So I'm gonna do play. As you can see, we have a 100 to 100, and if I start the slow time, you can see that it's going down. and when it's reached 0, it's gonna stop. So that's pretty much that. So we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.